So now I'm going to show you how to create the slide layout for the juggling example course that we're going to build for this online course, teaching you about Articulate Storyline 3. So if you go to the storyboard that you would have downloaded, I'm just going to show you here. So this is Learn How to Juggle the Easy Way. This is the storyboard to accompany this online course on Learn Articulate Storyline 3 the Easy Way. Create this Storyline 3 course in a day, which is part of the Learn by Doing series by eCourse Alley. So to create your outline, this slide here in your storyboard just tells you a little bit about some design guidelines and about the story view. This is what we're going to create. So first there'll be a series of introductory slides. So we're going to have our learning objectives, our title screen, and a few other things. And then it's going to branch off to the 5 steps involved in juggling. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And from there, there's a few slides here, like step 4, we're going to lightbox to another slide to help break down that step more slowly. And the same with step 5. And then that's going to branch to 2 knowledge checks and remediation for the knowledge check as well. And then we have a bit of a simulation so they can kind of practice juggling virtually on the screen. And then the conclusion slide or the summary slide. So that's what we're going to lay out right now. So this is slide 1. We can actually click in on this and we can get to that part right there. And then we can rename it right here. So this is your title screen, so you can rename it title screen if you'd like. And then you can add slides just as you would in PowerPoint. So if you've created a template, you can do that, or you can just use a basic layout. So title and content. We probably also want to look at the slide master, which is something similar to what you do in PowerPoint as well. You'd go and create your background and make it what you want so that it applies to all your slides. So go up to your slide master. We're going to go to slide master first just to make sure we have our background the way we want. So this is your slide master right here. So you can change the colors right here for your theme, or you can apply a theme. So why don't we just take something more defaulted for this example course? Actually, let's pick this one. I think this is the one that I used when I did my demo course. So we'll just close that. And now when you insert a new slide, it's going to be defaulted to that background. So we'll pick title and content. So then this slide is going to be your learning objective slide. So we're going to rename that. And if you're not sure, go back to your storyboard for this juggling course. And you could expand this so you can read it, or you can just see the different slides will be involved here. So learning objectives, and the next one is what you will need. So we're going to create that one. So I'll rename that. So we could also just duplicate that and then just change the name, since we're going to have a few that are going to look pretty much the same right now. So the next one is the juggling process. And after this point, we're going to branch to the 5 different steps. But we can't actually show that type of branching that you see in the storyboard here, up here, yet, because we haven't built any elements on the screen, because those are what is going to create that branching effect. but we can at least lay out the different slides and their names. And then once we put in these elements, you'll be able to see this branching occur. And so I'll come back to the story view when we start getting to those types of interactions. So for now, we're just going to create the different slides. So for each step, so I'm just going to duplicate this one. So the first one is step 1, position yourself. So we'll rename this slide. So step 1, position yourself, that's there. So that leads from here. So I'm just going to duplicate this one. So now this one is going to be step 2. Let me just check what the name was. Step 2, using one ball. Okay, so I'm going to just duplicate this one right here and just continue on making these. And so this one is going to be, so we were down here, step 1, okay, so step 3, 2 balls. And then I'll duplicate that one. And then rename that for step 4. Which, keep going back to your storyboard, make sure. Step 4, 3 balls, not continuous. So this is where they're going to throw 3 balls, but they're going to just stop after the 3rd ball is thrown. So that's why it's called that. We'll duplicate that. And then step 5 is 3 balls continuous because we're going to just continue to throw them, and that's when they will be able to juggle at that point. So let's rename this. Okay, so after step 5, continuous, then we have knowledge check 1, 2, then there's a little simulation, and then the summary screen. Okay, but within these, like step 4 and 5, both have light box slides that are going to show up, but we'll worry about that when we get there, just because it's going to be hard to build without putting the elements on the screen at the moment. But we can at least block out knowledge check 1 and 2. So I'll duplicate this again. Let's rename that. And then we'll duplicate that and rename it knowledge check 2. And then we have the simulation. Don't drop the ball. So we'll duplicate this. And then last, we'll have the summary screen. So rename. So it's very similar to PowerPoint to find storyline. It's like, I would call it almost like beefed up PowerPoint in a way, because you have this slide view here, and then you have the actual slides that you work on. The difference is you have a timeline here, so you can actually time things coming in and coming out of your slide at different points and along this axis here. And you also have these triggers, and we'll get to that as we build things, which means that if you have a button on your screen, you can trigger that button to open a link in a website or to open another slide, which is called a light box. So we're going to get to all those things, and I feel this is one of the best ways to learn anything new like this. Sometimes if you just watch a course and they go through a trigger is a blah, 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 and they define it, I don't find that helps me. I find it's so much better if I just kind of think of an example and just try to make that example, either by, looking at some of the help when I need it, or watching some YouTube videos, or taking a course like this, because this is going to really help to solidify that. So now if we go to story view, we're just going to see this linear progression, but at least we've laid out some of the slides. So we have our title screen, learning objectives, what you'll need to learn how to juggle for this example course, the juggling process, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, 5, and knowledge checks 1 and 2, a simulation, and a summary. Now there are going to be a few more slides that we will add as we go, and then we'll check back here when we start to create that branching effect. So that's pretty much what there is to it, just to create the basic layout. So next video will be about working on the title screen. So let's just click on that. We can double click there, and that's how you get to that.